Hey everybody, it's Chris back with another review for the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet. Today I'm going to be reviewing a local favorite. One of my favorite local breweries, in fact, Joseph James Brewing, has created the passion fruit and guava Berliner Weisse in a 12-ounce can, which cost me $1.99. A limited release, our take on a true Berliner Weisse made using traditional lactic fermentation and raw no-boil methods. We then added purees of passion fruit and guava for a unique twist. The end result is an infinitely interesting sessionable ale loaded with enticing tropical fruit flavors and balanced acidity. 4.1 ABV. And it does have a best by date, but I don't think this is correct. I'm not sure quite what they're making of this, but it says to drink fresh, and it's fairly new. In fact, when I give you the stats for the reviews, you'll see very quickly. Two of my friends have given it a cumulative score of 4.5, which is very good. 649 only of us have given it a score of 3.69. Beer Advocate, it has a score of 3.82, which is very good on their scale. Um, as I said, this does come in at 4.1 ABV. Normally, these are known, that's actually kind of on the high end for Berliner Weiss. Berliner Weisses usually fall between 2.8 and 3.8 ABV. They're very, very low alcohol content beers. They usually have between 3 and 8 IBUs. There's no IBUs available on this. I even went to Untapped where sometimes somebody manages to figure out the IBUs or something. It wasn't there. So, describing the style a little bit further. Low strength, tart style of wheat beer, once common to Berlin, now made more often elsewhere. In fact, Americans are making more Berliner Weiss than the Germans are. It has a sour aroma, no hops, possible sourdough and weedy notes to the aroma. Berliner Weiss does fall under the heading of not wit beers, but sour ales. When I went to BJCP, the Beer Judging Certification Program, um, Berliner Weiss is under the heading of European sour ales. The color should be pale straw, clear to somewhat hazy, dense head with poor retention. Flavor is clean lactic sourness, doughy bready, grainy wheat complementary, very dry to finish. High carbonation, crisp and juicy, has been described as some as the most purely refreshing beer in the world, should always be effervescent. Napoleon's troops in 1809 called it the champagne of the North. Mostly wheat, and then usually Pilsner malt is what they use, and Brett is present but never very strong. So they are using those wild yeasts for these. Okay, now that we've covered all of that, given you all the stats, as I said, I did pay $1.99 for this 12-ounce can. Let's get to drinking. Now, our Berliner Weiss, according to Beer Advocate, should be drank out of a goblet. As it turns out, I don't have a goblet. I've got a snifter, I've got a chalice, but I don't have a goblet. And between the two, I decided that I thought chalice was closer to a goblet than snifter. If, however, you disagree and would like to explain why a snifter is closer to a chalice, I mean to a uh, goblet than a chalice is, well, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Write in and say, hey, here's why you're wrong. And I'd love to hear that. Love to get more information from people out there. Always happy to get information. Anytime I say something wrong on here, please feel free to write me and say, hey, you got that wrong. It should be this. And boy, that is exactly the high carbonation I was expecting. And there is that dense head that is quickly dissipating. I can actually just see it kind of shrinking down as time goes by. You're seeing pretty close to the true color of this. A little bit darker because I'm getting some sunlight and it's not showing up on the camera. But pale straw, clear to somewhat hazy. Yep, that's exactly what that looks like to me. Pale straw, somewhat hazy, not overly, but very, very highly carbonated. And you can see that head is practically down. It was like this when I first poured it, and now it's all the way down to here. The head uh, does not retain. So far, at least in appearance, and this is exactly what it's supposed to be. Let's bring it to the nose and see what we got. And I do smell the sour. I smell sour right away. Maybe a little bit of breadiness behind that, but mostly sour. Yeah, I can smell the passion fruit in the. And I don't know that I would know what guava smelled like if I had it right under my nose. So I'm going to say I smell the passion fruit, possibly the guava. Once again, that's my limited knowledge of what guava smells like. Okay, this is I'm almost getting like sort of a ricey smell. I don't think they would say if they used rice as an adjunct, but I am kind of getting that aroma. Anyway, let's get to drinking. Cheers. It's nice and tart. It's a good breakfast beer. You're on vacation, you want a beer. You don't necessarily want to get messed up before the day starts. This is a good one. We only got 4.1 ABV. It's crisp. It's tart like your orange juice in the morning. I'm going to describe that as only about a medium-low mouthfeel. Not very spiky at all, but definitely sour. Lots of sour coming through. Very strong sourness. More I drink, the more I taste the passion fruit, and what I'm assuming is the guava. As I said, I don't really have a lot of experience with guava. I don't know what it smells like. I don't know what it really tastes like, but I do know that that's a very good, very refreshing sour ale. And I gotta say, hats off to Joseph James. You know, just about everything these guys have made, I've loved. Not just liked, but loved. And this is comes as no surprise to me that I would be particularly fond of this one. So I'm going to highly recommend this to you, and I'm going to recommend you grab it because it is a limited release. And I'm going to recommend that when you're on vacation or out there, you know, if you're out fishing during the summer, you want to drink a beer, but you don't want to drink a high ABV because you don't want to have a whole lot of alcohol in your system under that hot sun. This would be perfect. 4.1 ABV here, gang. German style sour wheat ale fermented with fruit. $1.99, 12-ounce can. So until next time, drink good beer. Don't break the bank doing it, and cheers.